Hello, everybody. Welcome to my Create World. This is episode 8. I can't believe we're already 8 episodes in. Today, my plan is to finish up my rubber factory using this resin, and also, I'm wanting to make some more farms. So, something I want to do before I start creating anything is make a toolbox. Toolboxes are very useful for around the factory because they can hold items that are very useful. They can hold important items for building machines, all in just one space that I can easily place down. So, we craft this, and when I open it, it has a nice little animation with these little drawers. I really like that. And then I have all of these slots that I can just place something in. So pretty much how these work is I can put stuff in them, and then when I want to use them, I can either, click them and just grab them out, or I can just be around it, and if I click a designated key, which is Alt for me, I can access it right here. If I click it, it goes into my hand, and I can, very easily access it, and, place it down, and then when I'm done with it, I just click this right here, and it's all gone, right back into this toolbox. So it's just like a very convenient way of holding things. So like I'll be putting my cogs and stuff in there, and it just takes up one slot in my inventory. So I can just, have all this stuff in just one slot, and it will just be very, very helpful. Okay, so I've gotten some things in here that I think might be useful to be in here. Some gearboxes, cogs, shafts, this stuff. So this is going to be super useful to have, and it will help me with my future projects. Okay, so last episode I forgot to mention that I actually created the ceiling to this floor. Um, I didn't create the flooring for the next one, but I did create the ceiling, and I really like this pattern. It looks really nice. So sorry I didn't mention that. But anyways, my resin container is completely filled, and I think it's time to build the rubber factory. So what I need to do is I need to run a pipe up to here, so it will go into this basin, where it will be pressed into uncured rubber. And then after that, I'm going to have it run off into this drawer, and then it will get cooked with this lava and fan into cured rubber, and it will be filtered here because the only thing that can go into this drawer is this cured rubber. So the uncured rubber will not go into this drawer. And then I run a conveyor belt from this drawer to here, where it will go into this drawer, which I have emptied for this rubber. So, with a little bit of wiring, I have connected everything up, and it's all spinning around. So the last thing that I've got to do is connect these gears together, and now we can watch as this stuff pumps into the basin. And rubber is going to start being made. Then it gets cooked here, and once it's cooked, it goes into here and off into the bin over here. Then, with all this equipment in my hand that's cluttering up my inventory, all I need to do is just hold my Alt button and return all items to toolbox, and it's all in here. This thing is awesome. Okay, so in between episodes, uh, let me fix that real quick. That's better. Anyways, in between episodes, I cleared out this entire landscape, so it's all completely flat now. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna add a dirt layer on top and just cover up all this stone, because it, to be honest, looks really terrible, and I do not want to mine it out by hand, so I'm just gonna add a layer on top of it, and then I'll be able to start building some farms. Okay, so today I'm gonna make like a super farm. So pretty much it's gonna farm wheat, carrots, potatoes, sugarcane, and potentially even bamboo as well. This is gonna be a huge project, but it's gonna be super fun. Okay, so I've started building this dirt platform for where this farm is gonna go. And yeah, it's pretty big. This is gonna be a very nice and efficient farm. This is where the sugarcane is gonna grow. So pretty much how this thing is going to work is there is going to be a gantry shaft running all along the length, like this. And then there will be a carriage attached right here, like this. which will be holding pretty much a cart right here of harvesters, or like these things right here. And they pretty much will just harvest all of the crops as it goes along, including sugarcane right over here. This thing is going to be double-sided, so there will be harvesters on this side and on this side, so it'll be able to go that direction and come back. Okay, so I've got it to this point. I've got the harvesters on here, and so how this is going to work is that I'm going to have a gear shift right here with a powered toggle latch right here. What this does is every time it gets a redstone pulse, it toggles and it switches between on or off. So if I give it another pulse, it turns off. And I can also manually do it with this lever. While this thing is moving, it is a contraption, which is like an entity. It pretty much doesn't really interact with blocks the same way that it normally would. And then when it reaches here, it goes from a contraption and just places down as blocks, like how it is right now. And I can interact with it again. So if I place a redstone block right here, it will not activate anything until it reaches the end and turns into an actual block form. So once it reaches the end here, it will activate some redstone, or something that I actually discovered today, wires, which acts pretty similar to redstone, but it doesn't run out of pulse length, and it can run on walls. So like if I place it here, it just runs on the wall, and I can just move it up and down walls. That's not necessary, but like it can do that. So this stuff is pretty useful. So I'm gonna run this wire all the way down to here and into this toggle latch. Pretty much when this wire activates, it will toggle the latch over there. You can kind of see it. And then over here, I'll also have the same thing, where it'll come down here, it'll place down, and it'll activate this redstone again and power this latch. And that will pretty much just trigger this gear shift, which will cause it to start going the other direction. And it reaches the end, powers it, and then it starts coming back. And that'll just allow it to just keep going forever. So the redstone is complete, and now I just need a good power source. And I could connect it to that, but I feel like that would just be an unnecessary waste of stress units, because this factory is going to need as much as it can get. So I think I'm going to build a windmill, which is suiting for this area anyways. Alright, I got a nice windmill built up right here, and I got it all connected up. So as you can see, once it reaches the end, it triggers that and it flips it around, and now it's traveling in the other direction. So now the last step is to get all the crops in, and I should probably try to do that quick because these are my last pieces of bread. Alright, the farm is finished. It is up and running and it's harvesting stuff. So pretty much what this does is once it reaches the end, it deposits items on this belt, and the things that get filtered into these drawers, and all the excess goes into this composter. So you can see it coming out, and I don't have seeds set as anything, so they just go in here and get sent into the composter. So once it reaches the end here, and deposits all of its items, like it is right now, then it turns around and kind of starts stuttering a little bit. I'm not sure why it does that. And then it just turns around and goes back, and it just goes back and forth and back and forth. And there's a blank section here for like the carrots and maybe other stuff that I might do. And that is because I don't really have any of those yet. I don't know how I don't have any of them. I've killed tons of zombies and went to tons of villages. But I have no carrots, so I guess I'm going to have to wait until I get those in order to fill this in. But that's okay, because I'll still be harvesting stuff. And I've been needing food really badly, so it's nice to have this, finally. So my drill here is pretty awesome. It does a lot of mining for me, and it's really helpful. But I feel like it could be so much more. I mean, just these 25 drills aren't that impressive. So after some crafting and some gluing, I have effectively doubled the size of my drill machine. This thing is going to be making me rich pretty soon, but that is going to have to wait for next episode. Sorry. Well, unfortunately, that is all I have time for this episode. I think I have accomplished quite a lot. I made this beautiful windmill and this farm, and I finished up with my rubber over there, and I extended my drill. So I think that has been a pretty fulfilling episode. If you want to see more content like this, please subscribe. And thank you all so much for watching. Goodbye.